All right, everybody. So welcome back to another episode of the Professional Brotherhood podcast, number 75. Trying this Facebook Live thing tonight, and out of the gate, obviously some technical problems. The stream that I had scheduled to start at 7 o'clock magically disappeared on me. So I don't know where it went. But here we are. We're on a different stream. John is monitoring the Facebook.
I'm trying.
He's trying. he's trying to monitor the Facebook, and we're gonna work our way through this. So, what's up, guys? How are you?
Hi.
Good.
Welcome, everybody.
Carol, what's going on in your neck of the world?
Still no snow, but it's cold and dark, so there's that.
Cold and dark, yeah. Well, it is that time of year, and snow might be coming next week. So
yeah, that's what they're saying.
That's what they're saying. So
All
right, everybody. So,
whoa, wait a minute.
Carol, what's going on in
Uh-oh. Still no snow, but is that coming from yours, John?
I don't know.
Just go to the Facebook video and shut the sound.
Yeah, but if I click on to respond, it makes it big, and then I get the audio.
Oh.
Hold on here. I think I'm okay. I got my screens half and half here.
There you go.
What a disaster.
Everything's gonna be fine, probably.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, as you can hear by the voice, John is joining us, and it's been a little while since he's joined us on an episode.
Back.
He's back and better than ever.
Yeah.
John, right. What's going on in your world? What's been happening? Fill everybody in. Where have you been?
Just bought and sold my house and gutted this entire house and revamped it, the entire thing. So it's been a hell of a month and a half, or almost 2 months now. So took a little hiatus, and I'm back.
Good. Well, it's good to have you back.
Yeah.
It's been too long, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
And
I literally haven't even done. I have my percentages for the firehouse were down. It's just been a shit show.
They didn't kick you out, did they?
No, I was getting nervous.
I just wanted to congratulate the chief on his demotion.
Yeah, seriously, I saw that.
Not yet. I got 30 days left. Come on.
Do you have to give your white Russian helmet back, or
you're kidding? No, I got that, and I got a nice new one. Look, I retired my old one already. It's sitting right here.
Oh,
you should have retired the Euro.
Here we go. Really? We're not even. Look, if it weren't for technical problems, we wouldn't even be 10 minutes in.
If you didn't get it here, you can just mount that Euro on your wall. It'll look great up there. Perfect.
Where else could I go for this abuse, right? And enjoy it, I must say. So
are you still going to wear the white Russian one, or?
Well, you haven't gotten to a call in 2 months, so you don't have to go to one now.
Fire alarm.
You up tonight. What's up, fellas?
No, we actually had 3 fires in like a 2-week span, and I was on the nozzle for all of them. And it was the best. It was the best 3 weeks of my life.
It is.
Because I haven't been on the nozzle on a fire in a while.
The good stuff.
It's exciting.
Yeah. You gotta get back in the shit, you know, and then it makes you remember like what it's all about.
That's so true.
You know,
things Kara just dreams of, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Really?
Somebody said you could use your helmet as a flower pot.
I like that idea. That's a strong suggestion. Any other suggestions? We're happy to.
We'll open it up for suggestions here for your
restaurant. Yeah.
We definitely want any like questions or topics or anything you guys want to talk about. Anything that you guys want to bring up about past guests or anything like that because we're at episode 75. So we know that we have a lot of loyal listeners, and we appreciate that so much. if there's anything that you guys want to talk about from shows you've heard or things that you want to ask as follow-ups, like please definitely hit us up for that.
I mean,
So-
obviously, I was the best guest, but
Obviously.
yeah.
Well, John was the inaugural guest. He was the first
Right.
guest, right?
Yeah,
I didn't have a guest before him. So, he kind of set the standard for
Pretty high.
where the guest was going to go. But yeah, look, I got to tell you guys, it really has been crazy because, it just kind of started as an idea, a thought and just kind of a way that I've kind of lived this whole thing for the past few years, is just trying to consistently promote that professionalism. And the podcast idea honestly came after being on a couple other podcasts. I was like, there's other guys out spreading a different message, and I was like, maybe let's see where this can go. And it's crazy. We haven't even been on a year yet. 75 episodes. We've had some phenomenal people on the show.
When is your year? For your first?
February.
Oh, that's exciting.
February. So we're probably gonna hit that 100 mark, right around the year if we keep kind of going the way we've been going. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, having the guests on is cool. Connecting with people, getting friendly with people, like you guys. Having people reach out with questions still kind of boggles my mind a little bit. It's funny. I had somebody contact me the other day, shoot me a message the other day, asking for some feedback on a recent situation due to COVID, where unfortunately this gentleman was put on a quarantine. No symptoms. Didn't have a positive test, but was put on a quarantine and responded to some fire calls, and unfortunately was suspended for responding to those fire calls. And I always tread lightly on some of those questions, but it was interesting. First of all, I was like, wow, thanks for reaching out to me, of all people for an opinion. But I've never been the suspension kind of guy, like you got to really screw up, in my, I've never been the suspension officer. I know I've been around lots of officers that love doing that, but it's never been my gig, my forte, And we talked for a little while. I asked what the rules and regulations were, if any policies had been passed down at the firehouse. And all those answers were no. And we came out of it with my opinion was the suspension might have been a little heavy, on the uptick. But point I'm making is it was just kind of it's cool to get these questions out of the blue and just people reaching out and texting you for opinions. And I know you guys have gotten it as well from
Right.
being on the episodes.
I like the Wednesday night things we were doing. We got a lot of feedback on that.
Yeah.
When the
Oh yeah.
corona started.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was. I just hit my phone here, and the same thing happened to me. It's we started talking on my phone. We're a technological mess here tonight. So this isn't going to be the cleanest recording of 75. I'm just warning everybody that's listening on the actual podcast that this isn't going to be the cleanest one. But what are your guys? So you guys have listened to a lot of the episodes or have been a part of a lot of the episodes. What are your highlights? I know what my highlights are. What are your highlights?
Besides the Euro helmet comments?
Right. And besides yourself, of course.
Obviously.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Aaron Wiswer says go back to YouTube.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Aaron. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Aaron's one of my local guys.
Thanks for the criticism there.
Yeah, I know. Listen, we wanted to try something different.
It's all new and exciting.
Interaction on you, although we have a lot more followers on YouTube than we did when we started this gig. So, but interaction on YouTube typically has not been super high. So I figured, let's try Facebook tonight. And I had it all set up. Seemed like it was all set up, ready to go. All I had to do was press the live button. And of course, Zuckerberg comes in with the stinger and, probably knows I voted for Trump or something. I don't know. But anyway. All right. No politics. All right. Anyway,
No
sorry.
politics.
Kara, what were you going to say?
I think that it's nice that we have kind of and you've had a large variety of lots of different guests, which I think is great. And I think that you can take something away from all of it, so I think that that's been really good. Some of the ones that just really, stood out for me that I thought were really interesting was, when we had Joe McLaughlin on for talking about youth mentorship and getting younger people into the fire service at a younger age and getting them started and showing them different pathways. And I think that episode carried over to several of our other episodes and some of the topics. And we got a lot of really great feedback from that episode. So that was one that really, I think was kind of had a ripple effect on some of the other shows. So that was always really good to see.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Joe was great. That youthful perspective and where he's going in his career, along with, all the mentorship stuff from you and your station. And that was good. And a lot of people had some real great comments about that as well, because I think that's one of the, in talking with others and just going back and forth and, here locally and when I get out and talk to others in different parts of the state, one of the things that is definitely lacking in a lot of places when it comes to recruitment and retention is that strong mentor program, that strong foundation and a pathway to get from point A to point B. And, having him on to discuss, all of the things that you personally have done for him, but, just to reiterate how important that has been to his journey, because, we talk about recruitment and retention all the time. And, now there's task forces are going to talk about recruitment and retention. And, some of it is so simple. The fact that we take people in and then we lose them because nobody's really paying them any attention. We're excited to have them, but then it's like, hey, here's some gear. Here's a pager. Let me hook this up to your phone. If this thing goes off, show up at the firehouse.
Come to the firehouse.
Yeah. And they're like, huh? What? Like, what do I, what do I do? What can I do? What can't I do? Who do I go to if I have questions? Do I always come to the chief? So yeah, that was a great episode. Yeah, I thought.
Yeah, I like that. And when we had Lex Shady on from the Shady Firefighter blog, that was really interesting. I just felt like we could have talked to her so much longer about training and about building construction and about all the things that she talks about on her blog. I just thought that was it was a really neat episode, and there's a lot of great information in there as well. That was another one that I really enjoyed listening to.
Well, that was my fault. Because I printed out her one article, which I was just like, highlighting this, highlighting that.
You had there was a lot of yellow highlighting.
There was a lot.
For somebody that doesn't actually read, it was very impressive. Actually, I was very impressed. Yeah.
But you're right. We got to have her back because Lex she puts out a lot of really cool content.
Yeah.
And it's just cool to link up with somebody that has a passion for something that's people aren't traditionally passionate for.
Yeah.
I've known guys in my fire service career that are into building construction. But when I say into building construction, not like that, it's usually they're into building construction because, before becoming a firefighter, they were in the construction trade or something, something like that. But, Lex doesn't really have that background, but, you watch her social media feeds And, it doesn't matter if she's on vacation or going to get coffee or whatever the hell she's doing. She's finding stuff wherever the hell she is to share. And, some of it are things that, I, for one, would never even think of or look
Right.
for.
Or that you'd never see,
or that you'd never see, So
Right.
it's just, it's cool to find somebody with a passion for something that's not traditional. You know what
Right.
I mean, everybody likes
That's so important,
Yeah, I mean, everybody likes putting the wet stuff on the red stuff and fighting fire and, doing truck work or whatever. But, it's like, you're like, all right, tonight we're going to talk about building construction. We're like, oh, shit, But,
Right.
yeah, for sure.
Somebody said Dr. Michelle energy drinks was good.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, Dr. Michelle, very good.
Elections and mutual aid.
Yeah. So Dr. Michelle, I met through Brendan Heggie, and he does a great lecture on energy drinks and their effects on first responders. So we kind of connected through him, and then we did a couple episodes, and she has a very unique practice out there, and her focus is really helping first responders, and very, very noble focus, and yeah, just some great information, again, from a totally different perspective that I would not traditionally get a perspective from. Who else did they say?
Elections and mutual aid.
Oh, yeah. So that was so that was just recently, and whoever threw that up there, I can tell you that I've got a follow up. I actually recorded a mutual aid episode yesterday morning. So the mutual aids I always record on my phone on my way to work. That's how the mutual aids are not down here. No mic, no computer. No friends to talk to. It's usually just me, my AirPods, and my phone on my way to the office in the morning. And depending on how much I ramble, sometimes I sit in the parking lot for a few minutes. but
like 10 minutes, but it might be 20.
Yeah. Considering it only takes me 5 minutes to get to work, and most of the episodes are 10 to 15 minutes long. All right, so I sit in the parking lot for a little while. So where I'm going with this is I did a follow-up episode on Thursday to the elections, because in a lot of places, at least here in New York, now the elections are over, right? First couple weeks for fire districts, heavy with elections. First couple weeks in December, heavy with fire commissioner elections. And so yesterday morning, I recorded an episode just basically saying, all right, elections are over. Now you're in the spot, whatever that spot may be. What are you going to do with it? And that's kind of the premise of that mutual aid episode. And I was going to put it up this morning, and then I realized, shit, I can't do that because that'll be episode 75. So I gotta hold off. So I'll probably put it up Monday. Put it up early, maybe.
You guys had your commissioner's election already?
Yes.
Ours aren't until February.
Last Tuesday.
First Saturday in February, ours are.
Oh, really? Oh, on a Saturday?
Yeah.
Really? Probably get more people out on a Saturday.
I mean, in my last district I was in, we didn't get more than 100 people voting.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, because I still live in my old fire district, about a mile from the border of where I am now. I still vote fire district elections in my old fire district, and obviously I can't vote for commissioner where I'm chief. So more heavily populated area in Monticello, but still, only I think just over 100 people turned out to vote, and there was actually 4 people running for 2 positions. And in my fire district, where there was just one gentleman running for re-election, 20 people. 20 people came out and voted. So
Yeah, we're usually like 75, something around there.
Yeah.
But it's usually not contested.
Right.
Like the commissioners where I was from were commissioners for like 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
We
that's a
don't
whole
have,
other
we
episode.
don't have fire commissioners for my particular district. Some of the surrounding departments do have. I mean, we have a fire commissioner, but it's not it's not a because we're a municipality.
So are you a village department? Is that
Yeah.
a village?
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
What the hell
do you
What's
contract to anybody also, or is it just your village?
It's just our village, and then there's other departments that are within the town that
Okay.
are their own fire district.
Okay.
What does that mean in a village fire department?
It's like a village municipality.
Oh, so you're just a municipal fire department.
Right.
Yeah.
You guys could call it
Oh,
municipal fire department. Yeah.
Yeah.
It all depends on where you are, and you have different names.
Yeah, it's all the same thing.
Yeah, it's all the same
right.
thing.
Right. I mean, from my first, probably my first 15 years in Monticello, we were a village department. We answered to the village board, but then we contracted with the town for our portion of the town. Rock Hill covers one portion of the town of Thompson. Monticello covers another portion of the town of Thompson. So we contracted for that portion, and then we moved over to a joint fire district because we cover the village and the town. So, interesting. There's pros and cons to all situations.
Oh yeah,
I'll say that. Pros and cons to all situations. But
Some people
Well,
haven't had
it's great.
elections yet either. So.
right. Some go in April. I know some here around here go in April.
Mm-hmm. We go in April
Okay.
for line officers.
Mm-hmm.
for line officers.
Mm-hmm.
Weird. Did you get rid of your tactical Tupperware helmet yet, and get it?
I did. I got my helmet redone. Thank God.
A
Shout
leather?
out to 315 Helmet. They did an awesome job
Yeah.
retrieving.
Yeah, he did a really nice job on her own.
It came out gorgeous, and I love it, and I'm happy to have it back because I could not stand wearing that damn Metro.
So you're not gonna wear a Euro,
That's gonna be a hard pass from me.
like a maybe? Would you say?
No, it's gonna be a hard pass.
She was one step away from a Euro with that Metro. I'm just throwing it out there. One step away.
It was way too close.
You throw hard plastic ear flaps on a Metro, and you've got a Euro.
I was like woefully uncomfortable at all times. It just felt wrong. It felt way wrong.
Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do? Well, your leather looks nice. And
It
again,
does.
you're right. Shout out to 315. I was going to send mine to him to be redone, and then I was given a new one. So here it sits on the shelf.
It's excellent. And you can see there's pictures of it on his page and on my page. John, if you want to catch up after your hiatus.
I'm going to.
They should.
Yeah. So
What color is it?
It's red. And in my department, line officers are red.
Hold on, I'm gonna look right now.
Okay.
So let's see what else. God, there's been so many. Some of the good ones. They've all been great. It's fun. Every episode we've done, I've learned something.
Oh, that does look sick.
Yeah,
Right?
It came out nice, right?
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, it came out real nice. The black and red looks really
That's
good.
nice.
I love the flat red, and then I got Taylor's Tins. Shout out to Taylor's Tins too. They did a really nice job and super fast turnaround time for them, which was awesome, especially with COVID. I know a lot of companies are struggling with that. That was great too.
The COVID.
COVID.
Yeah.
I think what's great is that you relate to everybody. Everybody could listen. And we talked about this in the first few episodes of staying in your lane.
Right.
And, it's good you hit the volunteers and you're not trying to be something you're not, where you get, you're getting just because you're a big name firefighter or department, then, come on my show. That's not.
Right. You need to be able to relate. I mean, that's the thing. If you if you can't relate to the person you're talking to, it's kind of hard to have a conversation, you know. And look, not that I wouldn't love to get some. I mean, there's some big name guys out there that I've been following for years, and you know, I respect what they do and their content and what they put out there, and what they've done for the fire service. Just I know sometimes it can be harder to have conversations with some of those guys. And again, I've been extremely surprised by, you know, having off-air texting conversations with some guys that I would never even expect to answer the message, that are super accessible and nice, and just because, you know, they've got a gazillion followers and are very successful in what they do, you would never know it, you know. Look, and we've had a couple of those, we've had a few of those guys on the show that are, you know, very successful in their lane and what they're doing, and you know, they're approachable, they're reachable, they're fun to have a conversation with, you know, there's no ego, you know. And I mean, that's what it's all about, you know.
I think we got, would you say probably one of the most listener feedback episodes that we did was the episode on leadership with Tim Ahern
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
Ahern Murphy.
Yeah. Huge.
We got
I mean,
probably the most feedback from the listeners from that episode, which was a really great episode. And we have talked about how we want to have Tim back to talk more, because it was another one where we could have talked to him for a lot longer.
yeah. I mean, that one definitely struck a chord with a lot of people. And you know, Tim is just a wealth of knowledge in that lane, you know, in that leadership lane. And you know, was just, you know, shared a ton of information. We probably could have talked to him for 2 hours if we wanted to, easily, maybe more.
When we have him back, John, you really we got to make sure that you're available to be on with him, because you guys you'd really enjoy.
I don't think I watched that one. A lot of times I'll put it on at work, and then I'll have to go do something, and I'll come back and it's not playing anymore, and then I don't think about it for like a couple of days. I'm like, shit, I forget.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, check that one out, and then definitely we gotta get you on talking to him, because you guys would have really great conversations too.
Yeah.
Very like-minded, and you have similar, you know, ideals.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
I think it would be really great.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm down.
Yeah, so Tim was great. You know, some of the surprise ones for me, not that it's a surprise that these are all great people, but just a, you know, surprise when I get on and I start, because, you know, the one thing I want everybody to realize is we're not bullshitting when we say that these episodes are 100% not scripted, which is very obvious tonight, by the way we connected to Facebook Live. You know, and how our initial start off went on tonight's episode. You know, a bit of a mess, a bit of a mess in the beginning, but you know, they're totally unscripted. You know, maybe we'll have an idea of a topic of that we're going to talk about. Like with Tim, we wanted to talk about leadership. You know, we knew that was the lane we were going to go down. But, you know, I don't have scripted questions written out. Kara doesn't. John hasn't when he's been on the air. It's not like we send stuff to the guest and be like, hey, this is what we're going to talk about tonight. Be prepared. We don't do any of that. It's legit, like, you know, just a round table discussion, you know, like we were all sitting around having coffee around the firehouse table, you know. And that's just been, you know, so cool for me, because, you know, take a guy like John Ford, Slow House Rules, who I had on earlier in the episodes, you know, again, John's a career guy, you know, with a great message, you know, that, you know, just because, you know, I'm like, you know, he's in a career station, but, you know, he's just like any other small volunteer firehouse. You know, it doesn't matter if the guys are getting paid. They're not doing a ton of work. They're not running thousands of calls. You know, they're not going out the door every 5 minutes, you know, and his thing is, who cares? You know, it doesn't matter if I go out the door 10 times today or 10 times this year. I need to be just as prepared for that 10 times I'm going to go out in the year as the guys that are going out 10 times a day, you know, and that's a message that should resonate with everybody, because we all know
For sure.
volunteers that don't think that way, because they're not busy.
Right.
For sure.
And then,
We talk about training with that too.
What's that?
About how if you're not busy, that doesn't mean don't train.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I think you got to train even more.
That's what I was just gonna say. Yep.
Yeah.
Because you're not using those skills on calls, right? So you're gonna
Right.
if you don't use them, you lose them.
It's
Right.
more dangerous, I think, in a slow house. Volunteer career doesn't matter because you're not practicing your skills all the time. Just like you said, you lose them. So
Mm-hmm.
you don't have like continuity in the crew. You might not have such good, know what the other guy's going to do or know what to expect from other people. It's just, for a department volunteer career that doesn't go out a lot is dangerous.
Right.
And I've been in one for 25 years. It's
Mm-hmm.
And look, I get it. Like I understand that, when we're not a super busy department, we make ourselves busy, but I understand that when you come from a place that's, even less busy than we are, one of those really small rural departments that, maybe goes out once a month, it's hard. It's hard to keep people invigorated and excited and training for something that they might not use for 6 months, or a year or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I get it. That's a tough challenge. It's tough
And
to
it's
keep
nice
people.
to have a fire or something happen that makes you use your brain and use your training because you get morale back up and everything.
Yeah, and everybody feels good about themselves. You come back high-fiving, oh, look, all, everything that we did, all this training finally paid off.
Yeah.
I get it for sure.
If you're setting up regular trainings and, encouraging your staff to attend them and be there, and it does so many other things other than just build your skills. It builds that camaraderie. Like to John's point, you learn who you're working with and where their skill set is, and you learn what they're going to do a little bit, in training scenarios. Does it transfer to every single call? Maybe not, but if you're using that muscle memory, you're doing the same things every time and you're training in that regard, then it should carry over to real world, right? That's the goal for training. That's what we're trying to do.
Absolutely.
And if you need to use training to create those kind of opportunities because you're not going on a lot of calls, it's still a great idea to do it. It's not to say, well, we don't need to do it because we don't go to a lot of fires. Well, if you go to one big fire and there's a lot of unexpecteds and you haven't been training for anything, then that's not the time to find out that you should have been.
Right. Yeah. The time the time to find out that you suck is not when you need the skill.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
And it's not the time to find out that, the one guy doesn't know how your department pulls your line or how much line is on your truck, or if you're going to the second floor and they're pulling 50 feet of line, then that's not going to work. So that's not the time to find that out, that guy doesn't know that.
Sure. And look, and that's across the board. That's not a probie thing. That's not a rank and file firefighter thing. That's not a lieutenant, a captain, an assistant chief. That's across the board. I've been on plenty of training grounds where you're doing basic skills, and I've seen 25-year chiefs down to 6-month probies when you're like, hey, go throw that 24-footer up against the building. It's like mass confusion, which if you think about it is pretty scary. But look, that's the place to realize it is on the training ground. But why are those skills weak? Well, because they're not being practiced, right? They're not practicing.
Failure to train.
Yeah, failure to train for sure. And it doesn't matter how basic the skill is, right? If we're not mastering the basics, we're going to be behind the 8 ball.
if you're watching a guy on the training ground that's just standing there and literally can't move without a specific direction
Right.
being verbalized to them,
Yep.
when they go to the fire ground, they're going to stand there and do the exact same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I agree.
that's where
100%.
you find out which ones need more instruction and leadership and mentoring
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
training. Because
Yeah,
whatever they're doing in training, they're going to do on the scene.
Yeah.
So if they're just standing there, they're going to be just standing there.
Absolutely. 110%, Kara.
Well,
Spot
or
on.
they're always gonna find a problem, a mask malfunction, or
Yes.
they'll always find something.
Right.
Right.
I the nozzle jammed, or I fell, or my coat wasn't zipped up, like whatever it is, they're going to find a reason why they didn't charge in.
Correct.
For sure.
Correct. And listen, we've had this conversation before. We've posted about this, talked about this, written about this. Training standards are minimum standards, right?
Right.
They're minimum standards. And I've had this conversation locally with people and beyond. Locally with people and beyond, that when somebody comes back to your station with a certificate, that shouldn't be giving them carte blanche to go start doing whatever the hell they want to do on your fire ground. Because if you're not checking these skills and improving these skills and making sure that they're ready to do what you expect them to do, you're going to get somebody in trouble one day.
Mm-hmm.
It burns my ass when I'll see somebody like that. I'll know, like, literally just got their hands on a firefighter 1 certificate like yesterday. And I see pictures from like a working fire tomorrow. And there they are, like, doing it by themselves. I'm like, oh, Jesus. Oh.
Listen, I give you one better. New Jersey, you get the Fire Instructor 1 certification, right?
Yeah.
What does that mean? What does that mean? That means you're qualified to teach now? That doesn't mean anything,
No.
And we get guys at the academy who want a job, and they come out and start teaching, and they never burned, they never instructed somebody before, but they have the certification. And you got to start somewhere.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
It's all about the attitude you come out with.
Yeah. See, that's where, I do have to give props to New York for the method at which instructors are hired and trained and groomed. It's a pretty good process.
We don't have one.
Yeah, I think
the instructors, you take a 40-hour class and then you take a test and then you got your instructor 1.
Well, yeah, and here in New York, you can get your instructor 1 too, but that doesn't mean you're going to be, teaching on the fire ground tomorrow. You got to go get certifications for each class that you're going to teach, and and then there's a mentor
for all of those.
Yeah, and there's hands-on for all of them and written tests, and then there's like there's a mentorship program kind of where you shadow for a while. You're not the lead, for quite a ways, but I get where you're going. Same
question.
Same thing.
Oh yeah, shoot.
Facebook question. Kevin King. He's one of my
people. Kevin King drinks a lot of Starbucks. Right?
He likes
right?
Starbucks.
That brother's at Starbucks all the time, getting smiley faces and shit drawn on his cups. I'm right. I got the right guy, don't I?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
What's better? Have the same instructor teaching various topics, or having various instructors come into an agency?
Say that again.
First of all, he said it's Rook, not Starbucks.
Oh, okay.
And then he said, what's better, have the same instructor teaching various topics, or have various instructors come into an agency?
I think it depends. My opinion. And again, you have to be a certain type of, you have to be a person that can reflect on what what you're good at and what you're not good at. Right. So I know there's a lot of topics, and this is for me speaking for myself. I know there's a lot of topics I can teach comfortably and convey the message and the knowledge and the skills and abilities well to the students. And then I know there's other topics that are just not my lane. And because they're not my lane, I don't teach them. Right? Like, I'm not a pump guy. Can I pump a fire engine? Yeah, absolutely. Can I get it down the road? Can I pump it? Yes. Can I do all that? Sure. But I'm not the guy that's going to stand in front of the classroom and do the mathematics. Kara just took that class, so she knows. I'm I'm not, that's just not my lane. It's not my thing. It doesn't interest me, so I'm not going to fake it, because I feel that when you're faking it as an instructor, somebody in the room is always as smart or smarter than you, and they're going to figure that shit out.
Yeah, you're going to get made. And it's just about staying in your lane. Same thing. You can't teach what you know.
Yeah. So I don't have a problem with somebody teaching multiple topics.
Yeah.
But I could see where, and then on the flip side, I don't always think it's always good to hear the same voice either. Like, I do a lot of instructing at my firehouse because I'm an instructor. I don't, I like getting the other guys involved and letting them do, take lead on the drills, because I don't want people to hear my voice all the time. Like, I'll oversee it. I'll kind of give my 2 cents where they want my 2 cents, but I don't, I don't want to be week after week after week.
You have to get them comfortable teaching too.
Yeah. Oh,
you're not
absolutely.
gonna be there forever.
No.
Right. Yeah. I was just going to say, you have to let people cut their teeth on it a little bit and let them, suck at it the first couple of times and see that the world didn't end. Just because you sucked at it the first couple of times, the world's not going to end.
I'll tell you what, you go unprepared to a class once, that'll never happen again.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Experience is the best teacher. Yeah. So if you want to learn how to be a good teacher, then you need to get some experience behind you in order to do that.
Or you'll only get caught once going to do a class and the PowerPoint not work, or not having the right plug or something. You know what I mean? It takes one time, and then you'll, okay, I got it.
And listen, not for nothing, it's not okay either. That shouldn't be okay. You shouldn't be comfortable with that. Our little 5 minutes worth of glitch here at the beginning of this thing, gives me anxiety. It's seriously, that's how you should feel when you're standing in front of a classroom. If you're not ready to go and prepared, I didn't invent this, but I say it all the time. It doesn't matter if you're teaching a class, you're running a drill at the firehouse, you're going to a meeting. If you're on time, you're late.
Yeah.
Right.
If you're on time, you're late. Yeah. Early is on time. Be prepared.
Yeah.
Right.
If you're running a 7 o'clock.
That goes in general statement for instructors nowadays. And again, back to the instructor certification. Everybody's trying to get out there. This is the popular thing, to get out and teach and do things, and that's great. But you got to, 1, stay in your lane, and 2, be prepared. Know what you're, you got to know what you're, even when I, for Fire One, and you guys know, I do the confined space lecture because nobody else wants to do it. I'm a confined space guy. I'm on the tech rescue team, but I've never done a confined space in real life.
Right.
So, but I have to review the lesson before I go. I've been teaching that for 5 years now, 5 classes.
Right.
But every time I review the PowerPoint and I make sure that, I highlight certain things and I know what I'm going to say, because one, you don't want to read off the PowerPoint. Nobody likes that. And 2, the last thing I want to do is look like an idiot.
Right.
So.
And you have to know you have to know what your topic is if you're taking on the responsibility of teaching someone how to do something that they could potentially injure themselves or others.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's a huge responsibility for it. So, I mean, I'm a baby firefighter, in terms of longevity in the service. I'm not the one that's going to be out there teaching at this point in my career in the fire service. That's not what I'm going to be doing right now. And that's okay. Are there topics and things like that I can teach, and can I help, lead a in-house drill? Absolutely, but if I can't, you also have to have the mental fortitude and the lack of ego to say, I will help you do this, but I'm not the one to lead it.
Right.
Don't
I teach with the guys at Superior, and those guys are all like career guys, task force guys. And they're like, hey, we have a confined space operations class we're doing. If I need another instructor. And I'm like, yeah, no problem. I'll help you.
right.
But I'm not the lead.
Right. But I think there's a problem in the fire service in some areas, certainly, where the leaders or the people in charge take that title to mean that they are expected to be an expert on every single topic. And that's really not what your people want from you. Your people aren't looking at you to say, you must know everything. Like some of the best leaders, when you get asked a question, say, I don't know, let's go find out.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Don't fake the funk. Right. Don't. This
isn't an environment where you fake it till you feel it. I mean, that's not how we're going to do things,
No,
or not
absolutely.
how you should be doing things.
And listen, that can blow up on you in any situation. I don't care what it is. I don't care if you're teaching the most advanced tech rescue class to the saltiest of guys and you're nervous as shit because you know that they know their stuff, or you're teaching a crew of brand new rookies, right? One of those rookies is hanging on every one of your words and is reading the textbook and is digging into everything that's being said. And if you say something that's bullshit, they'll call you on it. Right. They won't call you on it. Usually they won't call you on it in the same manner as somebody that's older with more experience and is confident, but they'll be the one to be like, hey chief, but I could have sworn I read this. And that's that moment when you're like,
I didn't
but so to me, it doesn't, I think whatever works in the training environment,
you have to see what works for your
and you have to see what your resources are. If you're fortunate enough to have, lots of different people that you can bring in and, can do different topics, well, that's great, because I also think that kind of keeps it fresh for people, hearing
and different instructors are going to resonate with different people.
Absolutely. Good point.
Everybody's going to like a different style of instructor. So having different instructors come in, it is a great way to keep your training fresh.
Yep.
And keep your folks interested.
Yep. Agreed.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What else we got going on that feed there, John? Anything?
Nah. I mean, we got some comments, but nothing of an. Well, now I can't scroll on it.
Uh-oh.
Hold on. Stand by. Yeah, I can't scroll. I can only see the top comments here. So there were 19. So the last one was Pat Covert. I'm not a fan of instructors reading every word from PowerPoint. You got to mix it up. If the students will walk out. I'm sure the instructor doesn't want that, which she's 100% right. We hit on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Eric Lubnewski said at Jobtown right now.
So
what else is new?
Yeah, what else is new?
Why's he got to rub it in?
So Eric, we just had Eric on. Eric was on 74, our last episode.
Is his nickname Lube?
Yes, it is. Yep.
Real?
Eric Lube. Yep, Eric Lube or Luby. All right, Luby or Eric Lube. He's a firefighter in the Bronx. Grew up here by
me.
That's
it. I didn't listen to it yet. All right.
Yep. He's a firefighter in the Bronx. Started up here by me. Used to run a lot of mutual aid calls with Eric. Good dude. Another great episode. Actually, that's where I was just going to go. So, for me, obviously we've had all these episodes with people I did not meet until the podcast. or social media. And then I've also had the opportunity to bring on some people that either I haven't seen in a while, haven't had the opportunity to catch up with, or, you know, have brought on to talk about their career and their, you know, where they've gone with, you know, since their days of being a volunteer. Eric's one of those guys. Like I said, we just had him on last week. Actually, it was this week's episode. It was Wednesday's episode, right, Kara?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Went up on Wednesday.
Yep.
That was a great episode. I knew it would be, because Eric's a super personable, good dude. And then Chief Tad Mapledorm, who I brought on, and you know, Kara was on that one. I know Joe McLaughlin liked that episode because kind of a similar pathway from two you know, different guys. One that's in his chief's position, and another guy that's just getting started on a similar journey. You know, and I brought Tad on just because his career, his path is far from traditional. You know, he's a military firefighter, has been all over the world, and has now settled in Washington State. And you know, just a cool journey. You know, so it's been cool for me to, you know, kind of connect with, you know, some old friends and bring them on the show and hear about, you know, what they've been doing, and share that with people. Because, you know, I talk to young people all the time that are like, oh, I want to be a firefighter when I grow up, but, you know, and they immediately think, you know, the FDNY, or they think big major city departments, you know, or they think their local hometown, if their local hometown has a career department or a combination department. And there's other ways. There's other ways to do it that some people just don't even know anything about, you know.
Yeah.
So it's cool to get that information out there.
Absolutely.
But what else?
Back to the Euros.
Back to the Euros. So where are we going? Right. So that's where I kind of want to, I guess I want to segue into where we going with this whole thing. What, you know, what I would like to do, how I'd like to continue the journey. Honestly, I just want to keep doing what we're doing. All right. I think it's been great. The feedback has been good. It seems like we're filling a niche that maybe other guys are filling as well. But, you know, people are enjoying it. They like it. Want to just keep making it bigger and better. You know, in every episode we say, if you've got an idea, or you have a topic, or you want to come on to the show, or you've got somebody you think might want to come on to the show, you know, shoot us a message, shoot us an email. Let's have a conversation on Instagram and see what your ideas are. But, you know, I know the three of us have talked, you know, pre-COVID about, you know, doing some stuff out in the real world where we can actually like shake hands and physically sit at a table and actually have like a real conversation with people, and maybe, you know, Zoom it or Facebook Live it or YouTube it or whatever the hell we do, or just record it for the podcast, you know. And I'd still like to do that, you know, because I think that would be fun. And
I heard your indoor dining shut down now, so.
New York City. Yeah. The city and Pennsylvania just shut everything down again. So you'll be soon.
Yeah, we'll be right behind them. Yeah.
Your governor follows well on the coattails of,
he's awesome.
Of the king. Yeah.
He's good guy, solid guy.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, that's my idea. That's my focus, and that's what I would like to do and continue to do. And you know, I'd like to get out to some fire stations, and, you know, we talk to people on Zoom, you know, some that are within driving distance to us, you know, and it'd be cool, instead of just, you know, doing this over a computer, actually sitting down and doing the same thing, and just, you know, actually holding the microphone in your hand and getting able to actually, you know, getting actual see where they're at, see what they're doing, see what they're faced with. Just That's the goal. That's the plan. That's the idea. But we got to get those vaccines. We got to get better.
Oh yeah.
We got to get better. So,
What
do you guys think? What do you guys think? Come on, fill me in. What's
COVID's a scam.
scam?
It's not a scam. I mean, people are really, the guy from ServPro, who owns ServPro, just passed away from it. Got pneumonia.
Yeah,
Normal
it's
guy,
horrible.
It's
terrible.
It depends who gets it, but it just sucks. It's ruining people's lives, really, is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I should say around here, it's like very obvious that people's lives are being ruined because of these shutdowns, and fire departments are hurting from it. Training is shut down.
Mm-hmm.
There's no meetings, there's no nothing. It's a different world now,
It is. It's funny. I was sitting with my boss today. We were talking, and when this whole thing started, right? Last February, right? Was it February or the end of January?
For us, it was February.
February,
right.
yeah. March
right.
was like the shutdowns.
So when this whole thing started, we were on a business trip in Miami, and it was for a convention or a big sales meeting. And it was the first couple days we were there, it was actually like a joke, right? Like, because we flew into Miami, airplane, no big deal. We were in the airport. The airport was kind of empty. I mean, that was kind of nice. But first day in the meeting, they had no handshake rules. They had all these rules. There were no masks or anything. And it was like a big joke. Everybody was like, oh, what do we do? Elbow bump or, and then of course you had guys like, screw that. We're shaking hands, and each day that meeting went on, it was getting like more serious by the day. Like they started shutting down airports and they started doing this and they started doing, and to just go from there to where we are today. Like I never in a million years would have scripted this. Yeah.
And I mean, I think I had it. I was sick for like a month. And when we came back, it wasn't in here yet, but the next flight out of Hawaii was quarantined in somewhere. And I was like, I think I had it, and my wife's like, oh, you're so dramatic, whatever. And then the symptoms started coming and what they were when the first week, and I was like, I definitely had this. But yeah, then the shutdown, all my classes got canceled. I mean, this was like a big year for me, and everything got canceled.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's
and from the fitness aspect, I know so many small gym owners and fitness owners that were hit extremely hard by this. And some of them, I know, I have personal friends I know that have had to close their gyms and close their businesses.
Terrible.
It's really hard to see if and when they're ever going to be able to get that back and go back to it.
Do you ever see going to a place without a mask anymore? I don't think they're ever going to say you could take your mask off.
I mean, I think it's going to be an extremely long time. And there's just,
and who wants to go to the gym and wear your mask?
And the hard thing is that one of the hardest things about this pandemic is that you're watching science unfold in real time. So, when you have the benefit of decades to test viruses and test vaccines and see how a wide variety of range of people react to it over a long period of time, you have the benefit of then giving that information back out, right? Because the flu pandemics that were in the 17 and 1800s took a long time after that to get the modern way to handle those. And we're not doing that. We're trying to fix it immediately. Right. And unfortunately, and I know people probably come at me for saying this, but it's a virus. It's a living thing. You cannot govern it, and you cannot force it into submission in a narrow space of a year. It's not going to go away like that, because viruses are living things.
You're much more intellectual than like when I'm like, this is bullshit. It's
What I just think,
But
I mean, because of
You guys,
because the
you guys,
other part of
Yeah.
the other part
you guys
of,
are the complete opposite sides of the spectrum, right?
because of the other things that I do for a living and how
Yeah.
I like, make money or whatever, like my educational background, stuff, things like that. So I have a different perspective, but
What
it
the hell
is
is that?
nothing. I'm just saying that we're
Did
different.
you hear that,
We
Brad?
need to settle,
You heard that?
settle, settle. Oh
Well,
my
listen,
God.
I mean, everybody has been affected in one way or another by this thing.
It's just very sad to see these small businesses, these people like work their entire lives.
Oh yeah,
to
absolutely.
construct, and it's just because of a virus.
Right.
Yeah.
And here's what I say to, and this is not, I'm not trying to procrastinate, or drag this on, but here's what I say. When I was sick for 2 months, I went to the doctors multiple times and they put me on antibiotics. Nothing worked. I finally went back to the doctors. I was like, Doc, you got to do something. I feel like shit every day. I can't do this anymore. And they're like, listen, you just got a virus. You got to let it run its course here.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Take some
Right.
vitamins, rest.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay. So now fast forward 6-8 months. What's the difference?
Right.
You know what I mean? What's the difference?
That's a really hard thing, and unfortunately, the people that are vulnerable to it or don't their bodies just can't fight it off as
Yeah.
well. That's
Right.
that's something that happens, and it's terrible and tragic. And we've seen that happen in history with different types of viruses and pandemics. One of the things that's happening now that's making it so much more exemplified is the fact that we can trace these numbers, and so you have an idea of how many people are actually dying, where back in hundreds of years ago you didn't really have an accurate picture of really what that impact was, and it wasn't coming in at your face on a daily basis through social media, news, all that stuff. So
Right.
it's a very different vibe of that as well. And
Right.
Well, here's just another thing to you too, like what you, especially Kara, what you preach is take care of you. You have to take care of yourself.
correct.
If you're a fat
And all the
bastard,
time, it's just like fire training. If you're only fire training, like if you say we're going to have a structure fire tomorrow, or we're having an uptick in structure fires because we've got a fire bug, so we got to start training, it's not going to work. You're already behind the eight ball.
Yeah.
You need to take care of your body, take care of your health, be fit as a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right.
And am I saying that you're not going to get COVID? No, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying you're giving yourself the best chance to be well if that's the lifestyle that you're living.
Right. Yeah. And there's no reason not to. There's so many resources out there. There's so many different directions you can go with taking better care of yourself. There's so many free resources. There's so many people out there, especially in the fire service, that are willing to help other firefighters, and to a degree, will give you, insight and information that won't cost you a dime. Like Kara does it. When we had Jim Moss and Dan Kerrigan on, right? I mean, look, those guys are super successful with their books that they've written and published and things. But again, two down-to-earth guys that if you shot them an email, like, they're going to answer you, Right. So there's just so many resources out there for people to, take that more seriously. And it is a direct effect on something like what's happening now. Obviously you have a pre-existing condition, you're older, you're weakened immune system.
Right.
It sucks, but
my grandma was 99.
Right.
And she got it, and she died in 4 days in April.
Right.
If she got a cold, she probably would have died.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
So it's just, like you said, Kara, these numbers are right in your face every day. Mm-hmm. And like, people are deathly afraid of it. And we're like, some people don't. Just take care of yourself. And that's all you got to,
Right.
Well, you can.
We're not saying we're not saying it's not dangerous. We're not saying it's, but we're ruining people's lives to prevent the flu, a bad flu.
But on the flip side of that, there are places that are just ignoring the fact that anything is going on.
Oh
You
yeah,
know, like you saying it's bullshit. Like you saying it's bullshit doesn't mean it's non-existent. Like, and I know you don't mean it that way. You know what I mean? But there's people out there that are like, oh, this is bullshit, and that's like legitimately
they think
it's all bullshit. You know, and especially when you get into our line of work, right? All it takes is one person to come in positive and be around your active core of people,
shut you down,
and you could be freaking shut down.
Yeah.
Right. So you can't have that mentality of, and I know that mentality is out there. Oh, it's, oh, this is all a bunch of bullshit. It's the government. It's this, that, and the other thing. Okay, great. Whatever the hell you think it is. But you also have to understand that we still have a job to do. And unfortunately, this thing can shut down your ability to do your job, or your entire organization's ability to do your job. And
you have to make some changes to the way that you're operating in order to keep people healthy and keep people safe, and then be able to take care of your community.
Correct.
That's still our job.
Yes.
Our job is still, we are there to take care of our community. So whatever parameters are being set that may be temporary and may be annoying, uncomfortable, you agree with them, you don't agree with them, we still need to work within those parameters because we have a job to do.
Right.
And we have to hold ourselves to that standard.
Right. And how's it going to look when your company is shut down and your taxpayers and your customers, find out that, mutual aid from the next town over is covering you?
Right.
All because somebody
had
thought,
a party.
all because everybody was at a party, or all because somebody said, this is bullshit and we're not following the rules. It's,
I don't know if you saw my post on my story on the Wawa, like the guy who goes into Wawa and like takes his mask off to sip his coffee, and then he's like, like I don't want to be wearing a mask either, but don't be an asshole.
Right. Right. Just take your coffee out. Take your coffee to your car.
Just wear your mask. That's all. Wear your mask. Right. Wash your hands. Don't be an idiot. Don't lick the toilet seats.
Right.
It's not that much.
Love Wawa, by the way. I
love Wawa. Wawa coffee is my favorite.
What is Wawa?
Wawa is like a convenience. So
do
you have Quick Checks up by you?
No.
You have Tim Hortons, though, right?
Where do you get your coffee from?
Starbucks.
Oh.
Abs.
Hey, did everybody just hear that attitude? I just gonna throw Starbucks.
My God. Kara.
That was freaking. I'm gonna listen. If I do anything with this episode, I'm gonna clean up the nightmare in the beginning, and I am gonna soundbite Kara saying Starbucks.
Obviously.
Mark the time on that. That was 1 hour and 29 minutes. Starbucks.
Oh
I feel like it's time to go.
It's been a long
Well, it is. So.
We have a real question. Here. Wayne Price says, do you think COVID will impact the future of the fire service? And I think we kind of touched on it, was that I think the good thing about it is it opened guys' eyes to like, bloodborne pathogens was always like bullshit, like, oh my God, bloodborne pathogen. But now I think people realize.
By the way, so thanks for that.
What'd you say?
Starbucks? I said that's the class I teach, by the way, so thanks for that.
Nobody likes bloodborne pathogen classes. That's a niche that you don't have to fill, Kara. But
if it's wet, it's infectious. Lesson over. Yeah. Thank you for coming.
Don't lick the toilet seat. Don't stick your hand in the blood.
Right.
Next class.
Okay.
But I do, on a serious note, I think that this really opens people's eyes to how things spread and being careful and washing your hands. And, how many times have I got off the fire truck and come home and not wash my hands and, touch my wife, made food, whatever. And now you're bringing whatever you were just in, not only in the fire truck, but on a call back home with you.
Yeah.
So I think it's opened my eyes. So I think that's a good thing. We still wear masks in the firehouse, which is, it's annoying, but I don't know. I don't see that going anywhere anytime soon. Masks.
Listen, I think it's given us all a lesson in resiliency, like what we're capable of doing, how we're capable of functioning, how something, I think when you think of first responders and emergency services in general, you always think of us as kind of like, we always think of ourselves as kind of like this untouchable, like we're not going to be affected by everyday stuff. And regardless of what's going on in the world, we're just going to continue doing our thing. We're going to continue doing our job. We're going to continue having our meetings. We're going to, and this has, forced us all to take a good hard look at how we do everyday things that we take advantage of, or that we take for granted, I should say, that we take for granted. And how do we adapt? How do we adapt to what is currently going on? And look, that's probably a lesson we could all learn. First of all, definitely teaches you not to take things for granted, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Just stupid things like walking up to somebody and being like, hey, and shaking their hand. I mean, you're like, will that come back? Is it after a year of not shaking anybody's hand, is it going to be normal to just like not you just be like
bloodborne pathogens class?
Bring your Starbucks. It's going to be a long night.
Yeah. Starbucks.
I don't know. That's where I stopped to get my coffee. It was a question and I answered it, you fucks.
First of all, whoa, this is a family show.
Yeah. And now I have to mark the explicit checkbox.
Yeah. Zuckerberg's going to throw your ass right off here.
Yep.
No, if you've never had a Wawa.
We don't have Wawa. I'm sorry. I don't know what it is.
You need to drive down to Jersey.
Okay.
And get a Wawa cup of coffee.
As soon as I'm allowed to,
you'll never go back.
I'll drive to Wawa.
Yeah, Wawa.
Brian, you have a Wawa by you?
No, we don't. They're not in New York. No, they're not in New York. You got to go to, I think Pennsylvania has some.
I should open one up there.
And they're all over Jersey.
There you go.
I know they're all over Jersey.
We have 5 in our town.
That's our to and from.
It's a convenience store, is what you're saying, right?
It's a convenience store, but they got the best coffee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like Tim Hortons or Quick Check or Cumberland Farms, like that kind of setup.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
Yeah, but their coffee is good, and
good to know.
And my son likes their chocolate milk too, so they got good chocolate milk.
Paige said Tim Hortons is where it's at.
Timmy's. That's an upstate thing, right? That's upstate. Tim Hortons is
Western.
More
Western New York because of because they're Canadian, right? So it's more like Western, like Buffalo.
Right. They don't even call it coffee. They call it Timmy's.
76, finally having a Wawa with Kara. Be 76. All right. We'll have Starbucks and you could have the Wawa. How's that?
All right.
So this is what
I'm not opposed to a Wawa. I just have today learned what it is. Today years old when I found out what Wawa is. Like everybody.
First of all, it's Wawa, not Wawa.
All right. So this is what we're gonna do before we wrap this up. I'm just gonna throw it out there. If there's anybody still streaming, watching this big barrel of nonsense that we got going on tonight, throw your final questions out there. And then we'll start to wrap it up, because it is a Friday evening, and what?
None of us can go out, so
none of us can go out. We can't do
live
anything,
talking about Starbucks and Wawa.
Yeah.
And Euro.
And I know Kara thinks Dunkin' Donuts coffee is dirty water, so I'm not going to even talk about Dunkin' Donuts.
Yes.
Brown water.
Yeah,
brown water.
Yeah. Well.
Wow. Oh, I've missed it.
Yeah.
It's great to have you back, John.
Yes.
Really. It's like amazeballs.
What the hell did you guys do without me?
It was, not as salty. Frankly.
I have a fantastic post and I'll share with you that I'm going to put up. I'm just waiting for the right moment. And it's a teaspoon of sugar and it says, "Don't always trust what you see. Even salt looks like sugar."
Nice. I like it.
I like it.
That's the truth.
It is.
Yeah.
You bet your Wawa.
You betcha.
Oh, Jesus.
All right, guys. Any final thoughts before I do the
Nobody
wrap up?
cares. Nobody's listening anymore.
Do you guys have any final thoughts?
I'm out of thoughts. I'm empty.
You're
I'm
empty?
tapped out for the
All right.
week.
Paige says, when are you going to do a live stream? Totally forgot about the time change, so definitely missed most of this.
Oh.
We can do that. Another an Instagram live stream she's talking about.
Oh yeah, we should try it on Insta and see if we can figure it out.
Yeah,
I think
Paige
we have
loves-
there's more flexibility on Insta now too, right? We could actually do like the three of us if we wanted to, I think. Can
Paige
we?
was our #1 fan on Instagram.
Yeah. Can we do multiple people on Instagram live, more than just two?
Well, actually, wait, before people yell at me, Kevin and Cover, we had a lot of fans, so
Top fans.
Yeah.
I don't want to get yelled at.
Yeah, absolutely. And what is he drinking? That's not Starbucks. What is
Rook.
it? What is Rook?
Rook is like a Starbucks. I'm not a fan, but it's like, one of them fancy.
Is that their niche, to put graffiti on everybody's cup?
Covert said you could drink Starbucks while wearing your Euro. Gold. Comedy gold. Yeah, Rook's like a niche coffee. They draw, they'll draw like write a message, or it's a coffee joint.
Okay, all right.
I'm
I
not.
don't know.
I'm
Hey,
a
listen.
wine.
If we didn't learn anything tonight, we learned a lot about coffee. So
Next Instagram live, we'll bring your own coffee.
yes, we will do what we will do.
Kevin
will do-
wants to know, when are the Wednesday night chats coming back? We'll
We'll
figure
do-
it. If we could do 3 people, we should do a Wednesday night chat.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I don't know if you can.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
We
We'll
should
see.
probably try it before we just.
Yeah. So it doesn't
Later.
start. So it doesn't start like
That's what we
tonight.
said, Kara. That's what we
What?
said.
We'll do-
I said,
we'll-
that's what we
we'll-
said.
Yeah, we'll try it so it doesn't start like tonight. With technological
God, that-
glitches.
Thank God that one didn't go on Facebook.
So, all right. You guys have anything to say, or I'm going to end this? I'm going to end this party.
Just end it.
You probably could have ended it 20 minutes ago.
All right, so here we go. So, as always, listen. We've said it earlier tonight. We talked about it for quite a while. The show runs on the feedback from all of you. John's at the beach now. If you're watching this on YouTube or watching live on Facebook, the show runs on the feedback. We love the feedback. We love the conversations. We love knowing that we're reaching an audience and that we're making a difference. So please keep that feedback coming. Best way, as always, email professionalvff@gmail.com. That's professionalvff@gmail.com. You can get us all on Instagram at professional.brotherhood, at st.florianfitness, or at Jersey Shore Emergency Training. All right. Make sure you're following us all on Facebook. Shoot messages to whomever you like about whatever you like, and we always get back to you and bounce the messages off one another if need be. Website's up. There's pretty much connections to everything off of the website, and you can find that at professionalbrotherhood.com. And yeah, listen, just I thank you guys for being a part of this journey. It's been a blast. Hopefully we got another 75 episodes in us, and
I think it's great, and I'm honored to be a part of it. I love it. You're my favorite podcast. I'm not just saying that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Listen, I know because there is a shit ton of podcasts out there, and I've got a bunch of them that auto load onto my phone, and I listen to quite a few of them. I'm like you, John. Like, I'll start them and then I'll get out of the car, and then nice thing about my iPhone is if it's connected to the car, like I get out and I get back in and it'll start playing again, so I kind of remember where I left off. But I've started episodes before of other podcasts out there, and I'm like into it, and I'm like, and I never get back to it. But I know people can be spending their time elsewhere. But we appreciate you spending your time with us. And it's been a great run. Looking forward to getting to the 1-year anniversary. Looking forward to getting to episode 100. We're only 25 away from that. And I don't know what we're going to do for 100, but we got to do something big, and we'll figure it out.
I mean,
Tara's-
obviously you could just have me back. But.
Well, it is big melon. So as always, guys, thank you very much for tuning in tonight. Sorry for the glitches in the beginning, where we were supposed to be on one stream and then we popped over to another stream. But hey, that's Facebook. You live and you learn. But as always, please do not forget that a paycheck does not make you a professional. How you approach the job does. Stay healthy, stay safe, and until next time, talk to you soon.